Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grumman Pilot's YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about the triple tree fly-in that was held in Woodruff, South Carolina. The airport identifier was SC00. It's a fun fly-in. I attended it back in '91 and I went for a number of years. But let's talk a little bit more about the fly-in and what goes on there. And we have some videos from the event that just happened here, September 19th to the 25th. And we had some Grumman show up. And so, folks, stay tuned while we have some more fun talking about this topic.
We would like to ask you please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notify to stay current with our content.
Now here's all the stuff you might need for Triple Tree. It's located in Woodruff, South Carolina. The event that they had this year was September 19th to the 25th of 2022. Identifier SC00, and there's the lat long for your old style GPS if you need it. It's a good fun event. It draws a lot of people and it's a lot of fun to attend because there's so much going on. He's got a good web presence now, but I used to go back in '91 and I would just volunteer like I did for anything else, because that way you're on the inside, you're having a lot of fun, and you're working and staying busy. But these are all pictures from his website, and now we're going to go look at some of the pictures that were taken by some of the Grumman folks that were at the event. I'd like to thank Roger and Shanti Sherrod for some of the pictures. Ron Mowry was also very helpful. We had a lot of folks there, including Bill Fritz, who flew his MT propeller Tiger there. So, folks, there'll be a fun story about Bill Fritz and his airplane later on in this, but let's get on with examining some more of the fun that was had at this event. And again, it's a good people event. You can sit and watch airplanes, but there's a myriad of other activities to do, so let's investigate. Now, if you find it on a sectional or you go to AirNav, this is what it's going to look like in the general area. And then you'll also find the airport picture also on AirNav, giving you an idea of what the runway looks like. Or you can go to Google Earth and you can look at it from above. Here we are at 10,000 feet looking down, and there's Triple Tree right there in the landscape. One of the nice things about that part of the world is you'll never know what you're going to see. And coming out of Florida, there's a bombing range. But once you get to Triple Tree, then you can walk around and look at all the Grummans that'll be on the ground. And there'll be a wide variety of different ones. They'll be all over the place. There's not technically a corral for Grummans. So you'll see some cheetahs and you'll see tigers and travelers, maybe even a two-seater. You never know. But, you know, every once in a while, you'll see an airplane you recognize, like the Yellow Peril here, Ron Mowry's aircraft. He's had that for quite a few number of years. Bought that right before John Maestri passed away. And here's a Tiger parked in the shade. And, you know, when you camp there, you'll get a little certificate from Triple Tree to put on your, how to contact you, and everything goes on your glare shield so folks know how to find you. And there's a lot of activities there. Now, they do mark off the runway, but people do spend a lot of time sitting up on the runway, like watching Cessnas land, watching their rollouts. There is transportation to move you around the facility, so you don't have to do a lot of walking or worrying about bringing a bicycle. And then here's a facility called Mirror Lake, and this is why it's called Mirror Lake when the conditions are like that. And then there's the World War II control tower. Ron Mowry was up there taking pictures for me. Here's the group on the ground of a bunch of folks standing around at Triple Tree just having a good time. And again, it's a good fabric for a good social event. I mean, Pat does a really good job there, and I used to thoroughly enjoy going there. And then here's a Tiger taking off, and he's going to go right past Mirror Lake, and he's going to lift himself into the sky, and away he goes. Now, you'll see a lot of folks there walking around. People have bicycles. They'll have little electric scooters. Wide variety of transportation events for people. But there goes the Tiger. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to see at an event like this. It's a World War II tower. All the controllers, by the way, that work in the tower are all volunteers. And then here's an airplane, looks very much like Bill Fritz taking off. We'll also have some pictures of aircraft from the tower that were taken by Ron Mowry. Now, here's a picture from the tower that I really like, and it's been color graded for the cinema. But, you know, when you're in the control tower, that's kind of what you see looking one way. So it's a great view of all the activity. Again, folks, if you're going in there, be concerned because it is a busy airport. And then there's Bill Fritz's three-bladed MT prop going by the control tower, going to take his place to take off. And then you'll see right here that Ron Mowry catches him in the air. Not a bad shot, Bill. I'd frame that one and put it on my wall. Also too, we have like when Matt Wing came by to leave, Matt had to stand in line and taxi along in the grass and take his turn. And again, Ron Mowry was in the control tower taking pictures of it. And I appreciate all the work that Ron Mowry did to get me these. Now, again, there's a lot to see there. A lot of people sit by the runway. You can watch Cessnas depart. There'll be crop dusters. There'll be twins coming in. There'll be twins taking off. There's a lot of aviation excitement, and he holds a lot of different events during the year. He has a helicopter event, focusing on different things. It's also a remote control aerodrome as well. So it's full size and RC scale. So there's a lot you can see. And even the ground, it hadn't had any rain there, but that made a nice, good, hard surface. And then here's the Cessna departing again. Stand by. Now, as I said, Ron Mowry did a really good job of taking some nice pictures. And this is Shot Monkey taking off in his Cheetah. That was him right there lifting off into the air. And here's he going by. I think we actually have a couple pictures that were shot from the ground with his wing wag as he was leaving. And I mean, you can take some really nice pictures and you can color grade them and correct them and all for shadows and all. But it's just not the same as video, is it? But anyway, here's Shot Monkey leaving into the nice crystal clear blue sky. A few little puffies, and he made it home later that day. But as I was saying, again, you really, when you want to use video. And as luck would have it, from the charades, we have video of Matt right here departing. Now here's looking down from the control tower, and you can kind of get a feel for some of the parking of some of the aircraft and some of the camping facilities around Mirror Lake. Again, there's a great variety of aircraft to see. There'll be warbirds, there'll be vintage aircraft, there'll be classic, there'll be home builds. There'll be some that you have a hard time putting your finger on coming up with a classification. But again, folks show here up to have a good time. And what Pat throws there is the fabric down, and on it you can stitch whatever kind of time you want to have. So there's a lot to fun and see. A lot of aviation stuff. Now that's just from the daytime. But when you move towards the evenings, there's always a full social event, as well as the food vendors. You can bring your own food, you can cook your own food, but you can buy from there. And then you have the Triple Tree Aerodrome, and this is the Pat's Fireball. You'll notice it's a big ceramic fireball that has airplanes logos in the shell of it around the side, as well as the writing right there that says Triple Tree Aerodrome. And then on the back side, there's a slightly different presentation. But that's running at night, so you can sit around, people can socialize, gives you a place to hang out and talk. Stylization of the tower there, Pat's Fireball. Again, it's a good time both day and night around there, and you will find folks having a wide variety of time. Now, in addition to the Fireball for sitting around and having something to watch and video at night, there's also there's a band that plays. Again, it's a place, it's a full service evening. I mean, you can go until 10, 11 o'clock at night sitting around under the stars by the runway. I used to sit out and have a beer with folks and smoke a cigar to keep the bugs away. Again, it's a great time. And again, during the day, you have all the activities. I mean, you can watch folks coming in. As in this example, where an RV is coming into land, and it's a nice paint scheme. And as you can see there, people are sitting in the shade. They're sitting on the sides of the runway, on both sides of the runway, and there's a helicopter back there spooling up. But you can see that folks have a wide variety of activities that they can pursue, as well as all the paths for people to move around and get around without interfering with the aircraft. So here he goes, and it's not a bad landing, and it is a good field, and without the rain the last few days, it really was a nice surface for people to fly around in. So folks, I recommend going there. I used to go quite a bit for a number of years until I got involved as a board member in the AYA, because I was complaining because there were no AYA fly-ins in my region in New Orleans. I was having to go to the Confederate fly-in, this fly-in, the Slobovia fly-in for the Swifts. Just a lot of different fly-ins. But when I complained that there were no fly-ins for the AYA, guess what happened? The president made me regional director to take care of that problem. And here's a twin departing. And there goes the twin. And it's a nice paint scheme in that blue and white for that one. So you'll see a wide variety of activity, and the main thing for departure is get your good stable climb before you go and turn off on course, because you want to make sure you've got the aircraft under control. And it is a crowded environment, and luckily they've not had any problems in the past. And of course, you can always sit on the side of the runway and watch the crop dusters come by, dropping some smoke. And again, there's that smoke oil just, flowing in the breeze. And now you can tell which way the wind's blowing. And here's a view from the ground that somebody shot for me. Again, probably thank you, Roger. Is that it shows all the parking around the trees. And you might be able to get some softer bedding, but most people show up with an air mattress. And it is a good environment. And I will say this. People who go to Shade Tree are very helpful. You forget something, probably one of your neighbors has it. There's all kinds of camaraderie, and it was a really great time, and I thoroughly enjoyed my visits there. So stay tuned for a bit more fun. So if you've never been to Triple Tree, it's a highly recommended item to put on your bucket list. It's a good time. The social fabric is nice. Everybody there is in to have a good time and help everybody out. And there's a lot to see and do again. And so, again, I give it my high recommendation. And let's listen to a little bit here. Now that we've seen the fire, let me move these clips around and we'll listen to the music of the band for just a second.
I've got you on the beat. I let you go again. So won't you take my place and slow and go? Way out of goodness of
And here's a picture of what I looked like back in '91 without my baseball cap and my airplane. And then, of course, here's a picture of my 1973 Traveler, no baggage door. I flew the pants off that airplane. 784 hours the first year I owned an airplane. Not bad for a year. And then, of course, here's the tower shot from Triple Tree. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you found all this information about the Triple Tree Aerodrome useful and informative. Again, it's a good time by all. Hope to see you there again someday. Thanks for watching, and have a great day flying your Grumman.